Hey, welcome back to Crimson Woodworking. And today you tuned in to see recaning of a stool. And it's the exact same as recaning a chair bottom. This just doesn't have a back on it. And this is the shape it was in. This stool belongs to my sweet sister, and she wanted me to recane this, and I'm going to do it. It looks kind of old and the patina on it is really bad, but she doesn't want that touch. She just wants a new bottom put in it. So we're going to start by taking the old one off, and it's very, very old. It's probably, I don't know, 60 years old, maybe. All right, we're going to start caning this chair, this actually stool. And the way you tell kind of where to start at is you want to start on the lower parts. The upper part is always the side of any chair or stool like this. And then on chairs, the back will be narrower and the front will be a little wider. So we're going to start on that. I'm going to try to flip that around. I hope you can see here. Try to catch that on it. I'm going to try to get a staple in here. And that should hold that. I'm going to carry it to the edge and loop it around. Try to pull your cane through. And we're not like pulling really, really tight on this. We're just going fairly tight. And we're going to try to leave a small, like a 1/16 gap between this. And if you're not in love with your gaps, you can come back later and move them at the end. Okay, and now we're going to have to do a little splice. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, when you reach a point that you want to do a splice that you got to add your next piece of cane to, always make sure you do it in the bottom. You want to take your knife. This may be hard to show you. I'll try. I'm going to cut out kinda, sorta, a half moon type shape. Kind of like this, and you want to get the little neck fairly narrow to fit in the little neck's little. Now I'll show you what the next one looks like. I've already cut this, and this is a little more difficult to do. Is you cut out a little small hole, and then you want to run to try to continue your weave, you'll run it under. And let's see if I can get you to pick this up here. Get it and you turn it. And it holds together like this. Can you see that? I hope you can. One fits inside the other, and then you're going to continue the weave. We're going to do this all the way down. And see how it ended on the top? Well, you don't want to do that. You want to, we're going to cut this and make the splice on the bottom. And once I'm going to do the same splice and then continue down. Okay, we're going to continue that splice. Whenever you're doing this, you want to try to get a piece that's as long as you can. Go through there. When I bought these rolls on Amazon, they came. There's quite a few feet. It's like 180 feet of 1/2 inch. That's what this is, 1/2 inch. But each piece is only 10 feet long. In fact, there's a couple that's not 10 feet in there. So you want to kind of pick and choose the ones you're going to do before you soak them. Oh, that's another thing. You want to soak these for about 30 minutes or so. You can go a little longer than that if you need to. In some warm water. Don't go hot. Before you start using these, it'll make them a lot more pliable. Okay, so we ended on the top again. So I'm gonna have to splice underneath, about right here. Usually just bend that. In fact, I'll go back just a little bit further. Gonna bend that right here. And make my next splice. Why don't I show you how I'm doing this splice? Let me find a piece of wood, just something to sit it on. And what I do is I come back about 1 inch or 1.5 inches or so, and I'm drawing out kind of what I need. And then I'm just cutting it out. This may be overkill. You might could get by with just putting a slot in there. Okay. That's how to do that. It's a little more to it than the other part, but not too bad. And you, of course, want to make it where it matches up. I haven't cut this part yet. So you get to see me do a splice one more time here. Okay. Now we're ready. To keep this going. And we're about to be at the end. Okay, now that we're at the end, we're going to, let me turn this so you can see. Turn this around. The last thing I did was come across this end, and now I'm going to put it under. I have a little mess here. And go back over this part right here. All right, once you do that, I'm gonna pull everything through. And now we get the fun part. Now we're gonna start by going over this top one. We're gonna go over that one and then go under 3. So let me show that to you. We'll go over, and then under 3, like that. And then from this point, I went over that first one, then under 3. Now I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go over 3, and then under 3. Over 3, 2, 3, under 3, and it worked out great, over 1. I'll pull this through. Your first one, try to make sure you keep it in the same direction. Don't get it twisted, kind of like that. Now, if you notice that you have this spot here and you can't do anything about that because of your trunks here, your legs, but you can just try to keep it straight in line. You can eyeball it and make sure it just goes in line. And now from here, we roll it down, and here's where you flip it upside down. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go, hopefully this strand will be long enough to do it. We're gonna go over the first one, and then under 3. Over 3. Under 3. Over 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. 3. 3, 4. I thought I had something wrong. 3. Back up. And once we get this going a little bit, it'll be a little easier for a while until it gets really tight. Then over. Under 3. We're going to pull this through. You're going to treat your bottom just like your top. And we're going to flip it back around. And we may be able to go down to the other end before I have to do another splice. Now this time, instead of going just over 1, we're going to go over the first 2, and then we're going to do 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So we're going over the first 2, then it's going to be 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll push these down, Sometimes this helps, sometimes it's just in the way. Over, under. And it's going to look like this. Yeah, it's starting to look like something, right? I'm going to flip it back over. And we're going to do our over number, but we're going to splice somewhere about right here. But I'm going to do a few over and unders first before I get to it. Now remember, it's over 2. So it's over 2, under 3, over 3. So look at this. Under 3. And here's where I'm going to do a splice. All right, and I'm going to pause for that. Okay, I got that spliced. Now, if you'll remember, we started out going over 1 and then under 3, over 3, under 3. So it's a 3, 3, 3. The second row we did over 2 and then 3, 3, 3. Now this time we're going to go over 3 and then we'll go 3, 3, 3. So we're going over the first 3. Under those. 1, 2, 3. Then over these 3. It should be 1, 2, 3. Under that. And leave the 2 at the end. Now we're starting to look good here. Okay. We go up. I'm sorry. I want to show you right. At the end here, what I didn't do is go up and over it. Now we're right. Okay. I'm going to flip the stool. Try to get this where I can show you. Remember, we're going over the first 3 and then going under 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you move it away from those, sometimes it's a little easier to see. It's kind of hard to do this like this, but we'll go 1, 2, 3. We're going over those and under these. 1, 2, 3. Get it. And then over 1, 2, 3. And under. Over 3. Over. We're back over here again. Let me turn this around so you can see. Now, we've reached a point that we went over 1, then we went over 2, then we went over 3. Now then, we're going to go under 1, under 1, over 3, under 3, over 3, under 3, 2, 3, over these 3, and then under that last one. Starting to get a little tighter, a little tougher to do. All right, this is going to run out when sometimes when we double under right here. So we're going under the first one on the bottom and then over 3. And that's as far as I can go until I splice it. But you can see what we're doing here. I'm gonna try to keep your bottom as neat and clean as you're doing your top. We're gonna pause her right there. I hope I did. I'm gonna have to come back and make a splice on that. Okay, no problem. Okay, under that 2. And I'm gonna make a splice right here. Okay, I'm gonna pause you for that. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Looking pretty good right here. Nice long piece. And I'm going to try to think ahead. This would be over 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go under these 2. Hide these a little bit. Nice. Back to the top. Okay. The last one was over 1. Now we're going to go over 2. Over 2. Under 3. Over 3. Under 3. And so forth. Till we get to the end. We'll go over this bar. Always go over the bar. Don't go under it. I always have all over this long. Looking good. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Nice and nice. That looks uniform. Looks very uniform. I love how this herringbone is forming. And that was an over 2. So we're going to flip and go over 2. Over 2. Under. This time we went 2 last time, we're going to go over 3. you get on 3, it's a 3, 3, 3, 3. You don't have to worry about the odd numbers. Everything's 3 on it. We're going to go 3 on the other side. We are back to over 3. We're going to go under 1. We're going to go under 1, over 3. And I think right now that you probably have this down pat, what I'm showing you. So I'm going to pause the video until I get near the end and show you how to end this. Okay, now we're at the end here. This is the top. I've made my last line because I can't get another ½ inch to fit between there. And so we'll go back at the end and we're going to space these out. You can just move them a little at a time till they look perfect. And when they dry, they're going to really tighten up. So when we get here, we're going to flip it upside down. Then I'm going to kind of measure over a little more than halfway, which halfway is about right there. We're going to call it like right here. And I'm going to cut this off. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to go under and over 1 at a time. To really hold this, it's going to be a little difficult, but if you keep working with it, you need to get something to get down in there to let the piece kind of ride up on it. And I hope you can see this. Under, over. We're just doing 1, and what that does is it's going to really lock it. Under, over. We're almost there. In fact, I may say that's far enough. And this is never coming out. And that is it. The bottom looks like this. And what you can do if you want to is take some CA glue. I think you would wait till it dries and put a drop just underneath that. Push it down, and same on that one, because there's really nothing for those to tuck up and under. Most of the rest of them, I found a spot to tuck them, to kind of hide them. Although it is the underside of the stool, it still looks nice and neat. And the only thing left to do is you can take something like this, and you can kind of go through by eye and space these to where you get a little bit of uniformity in between each one. And we're going to let these dry. Like this. These are nice and tight here. Just a little space in between that we can move these around. And we are done. That looks pretty good. Front looks good. So I have a nice herringbone pattern. And so it went from this, and this was the same pattern. It looks like they used a thinner cane. And that's it. And you can do this too. This is not that hard. You can order this cane on Amazon. Just look for 1/2 inch cane and soak it for about 30 minutes. And you can do this too. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.